Namaste and a warm welcome to all your students. Myself, Dr. Hemant Vyas, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Surgery, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapith, Women's University, Jaipur. I welcome you all in the presentation about deafness. In this session, we are going to study about definition, different causes of deafness, and we will also study about different types of deafness and their management. So let's begin. So first, let's see what is the physiology of hearing. As we can see in the diagram, when the sound waves enter the ear, it goes down the ear canal and hit the eardrum, which vibrates. The vibrations from eardrum passes to three ossicles, which are malleus, incus, and stapes in the middle ear. Ossicles amplify the vibrations, which are then picked up by small hair cells in the cochlea. They move as the vibration hit them. The movement data is sent through the auditory nerve to the brain. Definition of deafness. Deafness is complete inability to hear sound, whereas there are other variants of deafness also, or similar words. Hearing impairment, deafness, or hearing loss refer to the inability to hear things either totally or partially. In a simple definition, hearing loss is the reduced ability to hear sound, whereas deafness is the complete inability to hear sound. Deafness and hearing loss have many causes and can occur at any age. Now let's see incidence or epidemiology. 360 million people worldwide have disabling hearing loss. Hearing loss may result from genetic causes, complications at birth, certain infectious diseases, chronic ear infections, the use of particular drugs, exposure to excessive noise, and aging. Half of all cases of hearing loss are avoidable through primary prevention. Current Current production of hearing aids meets less than 10% of global need. Now, etiology. Ear infections, fluid buildup behind the eardrum, holes in the eardrum, and problems with middle ear bone can cause deafness from conductive hearing loss. There is a terminology called presbycusis or age associated hearing loss. Also has a genetic component. It is a condition that makes someone deaf over time as they age due to the slow decay of sensitive hair cells lining in inner ear. Exposure to loud noise in certain occupation from sources such as construction machinery, heavy equipment, or amplified music can cause sensorineural hearing loss in people of all ages and is the most common cause of hearing loss. To prevent this type of hearing loss, it is important to wear proper hearing protection and avoid exposure to loud noise whenever possible. Some kinds of sensorineural hearing loss or deafness may be caused by infectious diseases such as shingles, meningitis, and cytomegalovirus. In childhood, the auditory nerve can be damaged by mumps, meningitis, German measles, rubella, or inner ear infections. Now, pathophysiology. Damage to the outer, middle, and inner ear, aging process, exposure to loud noise. This result into or this cause wear and tear on the hair or nerve cells in the cochlea that send sound signal to brain. Electrical signal cannot be transmitted effectively, which result into symptoms of hearing loss such as asking the other person to repeat back, hearing forward. Types of deafness: conductive hearing loss, sensory neural hearing loss, mixed hearing loss, prelingual deafness, and postlingual deafness. Now, first, conductive hearing loss. It is caused by any condition or disease that impedes the conveyance of sound in the mechanical form through the middle ear cavity to inner ear. A conductive hearing loss can be caused by any disorder that unfavorably affect the middle ear's ability to transmit the mechanical energy to the stapes foot plate. This results in reduction of one of the physical attributes of sound called intensity, that is loudness. So the energy of reaching the inner ear is lower or less intense than that in original stimulants. Sensory neural hearing loss. It results from inner ear or auditory nerve dysfunction. The sensory component may be from damage to the organ of corti, an inability of the hair cell to stimulate the nerves of hearing, or a metabolic problem in the fluids of the inner ear. The neural or retrocochlear component can be of the result of severe damage to the organ of corti that causes nerves of hearing to degenerate, or it can be an inability of the hearing nerves themselves to convey neurochemical information through the central auditory pathway. Mixed type of hearing loss. A mixed hearing loss can be thought of as a sensory neural hearing loss with a conductive component overlying all or part of audiometric range tested. So, in addition to some irreversible hearing loss caused by an inner ear or audio or auditory nerve disorder, there is also a dysfunction of the middle ear mechanism that makes the hearing worse than the sensory neural hearing loss. The conductive component may be amenable to medical treatment and reversal of the associated hearing loss, but the sensory neural component will most likely be permanent. Hearing aids can be beneficial or persons with the mixed hearing loss, but caution must be exercised by the hearing care professionals and patient if the conductive component is due to an active or ear infections. Prelingual deafness. Prelingual deafness refers to the inability to hear properly or at all before the patient learned how to utter or understand speech. In such cases, the individual was born with a congenital condition or lost their hearing very early in life during infancy. People with prelingual deafness have never acquired speech with sound. Postlingual deafness. Most people with some kind of hearing loss have postlingual deafness. They had acquired spoken language before their hearing was diminished. Losing their sense of hearing may have been caused by a medication, side effect, trauma, infection, or a disease. Unilateral and bilateral deafness. So, deafness can be unilateral or it can be bilateral. Clinical manifestations. Signs and symptoms of hearing loss may include muffling of speech and other sounds, difficulty understanding words, especially against background noise or in a crowd of people, trouble hearing consonants, frequently asking others to speak more slowly, clearly, and loudly, needing to turn up the volume of the television or radio, withdrawal from conversations, avoidance of some social settings. Now, investigations. we carry out for deafness. First is physical examination. The doctor will look in the ear for possible causes of hearing loss, such as earwax or inflammation from infection. General screening test. The doctor may ask the patient to cover one ear at a time to see how well the patients hear words spoken at various volumes and how doctor responds to other sounds. Tuning fork test. A tuning fork evaluation may also reveal whether hearing loss is caused by damage to vibration part of your middle ear, including eardrum, damage to sensors or nerves of inner ear, or damage to both. The Rinne test. A Rinne test evaluates hearing loss by comparing air conduction to bone conduction. Air conduction hearing occurs through air near the ear and it involves the ear canal and eardrum. Bone conduction hearing occurs through vibrations picked up by the ear's specialized nerve system. Audiometer test. During this more thorough test conduction by an audiologist, the patient wear earphones and hear sounds directed to one ear at a time. The audiologist present a range of sounds of various tones and ask the patient to indicate each time they hear the sound. Now, management of deafness. We can prescribe the patient hearing aids. Hearing aids are sound amplification with a hearing aid helps people who have either conductive or sensorineural hearing loss. Unfortunately, a hearing aid does not restore hearing to normal. A hearing aid should, however, significantly improve a person's ability to communicate and enjoy sounds. Many people are reluctant to wear hearing aids because of social stigma. Doctors should discuss such issues and encourage people to meet with an audiologist to evaluate the array of different hearing aid designs available. Some older people and those with arthritis or neurological problem find it difficult to manipulate the smallest hearing aids and should consider slightly larger devices. Now in this there are different styles of hearing aids. First is behind the ear, second meaning behind the ear, third in the ear, fourth in the canal, and fifth is completely in canal devices. Removal of earwax can also restore the patient from conductive deafness. Cochlear implant. Most profoundly deaf people who cannot hear sounds even with a hearing aid benefit from a cochlear implant. Cochlear implants provide electrical signals directly into the auditory nerve by means of multiple electrodes inserted into the cochlea, which is the inner ear structure containing the auditory nerve. A cochlear implant is needed when people with a hearing aid do not understand more than half the words in sentences. An external microphone and processor pick up sound signals and convert them to electrical impulses. The impulses are transmitted electromagnetically by an external coil through the skin to an internal coil which connect to the electrodes. The electrodes stimulate the auditory nerve. Sign language. Sign language is a visual language, not a written language like English, Hindi, and Dutch, or any other. Teaching a visual language is completely different from teaching a written language. Sign language itself has its own and unique grammar rules and foundation because it is strongly influenced by deaf communities' cultural attributes, such as facial expressions, gestures, usage of speech, usage of space, and many more. The language itself may seem superficial from outside, but if we sink deeper, there is much more to learn language itself. that goes well to any sign language in any country all over the world. Assistive devices. Several types of assistive devices are available for people who have significant hearing loss. Lip reading is an important skill for people who have decreased hearing. It is particularly important for people who can hear but have trouble discriminating sounds. Typically, those with age related hearing loss are benefited with lip reading. Prevention of hearing loss. TV, radio, music players, and toys do not set the volume too high. Children, especially, are very sensitive to damaging effects of loud music. Researchers found that noisy toys put children's hearing at risk. Focus on isolating what you want to hear. Block out all outside noise as much as possible instead of drowning it out at high volumes. At workplace, if you work in a noisy environment, wear earplugs or earmuffs. Even in discos, nightclubs, and pubs, earplugs are discreet and hardly noticeable. Leisure venues, if you go to pop concerts, motor racing, drag racing, and other noisy events, wear earplugs. Conclusion of our lecture. Hearing impairment, deafness, or hearing loss refer to the inability to hear things, either totally or partially. In a simple definition, hearing loss is the reduced ability to hear sound. Meanwhile, deafness is the complete inability to hear sound. There are types of hearing improvement, and each of the type has its own management to overcome the problem so that the patient will hear a better living and improve quality of life in engaging with all people in their surrounding. Hearing loss also can be preventable, and more health campaign of taking care of the ear should be reinforced to create the awareness of the people outside, especially young people nowadays who love to listen to loud music, those who work at construction site, and many more who are at risk to get hearing impaired caused by noise pollution. As the saying goes, prevention is always better than cure. Thus, people should be made aware of the importance of taking care of oneself from noise pollution made by the human being. So that's it for the today's presentation. Hope you like it. Thank you very much.